Live, not me, but Pooch is there. Live from Long Island MMA. I'm here with Tom Picciano ahead of CFFC 128, December 15th. And Pooch, how we doing, man?
I'm feeling great, man. Camp's going good. We're coming to a close, taking the foot off the gas, just kind of coasting in. Weight's coming off beautifully, and this is the best I ever felt leading up to a fight.
And we haven't seen you fight in Cage Fury since June. I guess, what's the reason for the time off, if any? What have you been up to?
I was trying to get on the October card that just passed. I went a couple of opponents, turned me down, so it just couldn't get anybody to stick. And I was ready, I wasn't just sitting around waiting. I was acting like I had a fight. That's just how I operate. I'm always in camp 365. This is just how I live.
And, we're talking about camp. You're at Long Island MMA. That's where you train. So for those who are new, I'm throwing this on Cage Side Press. First interview of yours there. So tell the fans who you train with, who are your coaches?
My coaches are Brian Michelino, Ryan LaFleur, and Greg DePasquale. Pretty star-studded corner, if I say so myself. And I got some banging training partners. I got John Caldone, Adam Livingston, John O'Day, Chris Wade, Ashika Jim, Brian Boom, and then, a couple other guys getting ready to make their pro debut. They'll be, you'll be hearing their names really soon too. We got a really strong group of guys in here, and I know for a fact that my opponent isn't even up to par with, for lack of a better term, the B team over here. I just know for a fact they don't have that type of competition out in Oklahoma over there, wherever the hell he's from.
And on top of that, you've been teaching more. I saw you have another class that just opened up. So how does that help with fighting?
It helps. One thing obviously pays the bills a little bit, so that's good.
Yeah.
But it's teaching is definitely a form of training too, because you have to really break it down step by step, movement by movement, so the whole class could get it. Because Long Island MMA, yeah, we got a sick fight team, but it's also anybody could come down here and train and feel welcome. We have people that it's the first time they're throwing a punch ever. And then we got guys that were in the UFC, about to be in the UFC, fighting for world titles and everything in between. So when we're teaching those lower level classes, we really got to break it down, step by step, movement by movement. So then as I'm explaining that, and then I'm helping people no, do it this way. If you do that, it's wrong. I just take my own advice. It's yeah, you think that and it seems obvious, oh yeah, I know that, I'm a professional. But sometimes if you don't say it, you don't actually think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
yeah.
I kind of just remember what I tell the class when I'm doing certain things, and then it helps me out a lot as well.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I train, and it's whenever I immediately put what I did in class to use in live rounds, it sticks a lot better than if I, just go home and try to think about it. So I'm sure coaching has that same sort of repetition to help you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And, I know you're training with Brian Boone Keller. Has he been at Long Island MMA a while? Is he is he a newer face there?
No, he's always been here, training. He trains, he used to train with somebody else, but he was still coming in here, taking class, moving around with us. He's been here for, as long as I've been here, as long as I can remember.
Well, what's it like training with him? And he's got a big fight coming up too with Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah, it's the day after my fight.
Yep. So has that been both you and training camp? You've been feeding off each other a little bit there?
Yeah. Actually, he's taking Brian with him to Vegas. So my corner for this fight is going to be Ryan, Greg, and my brother, Steve. He's actually making his amateur kickboxing debut a week before me at Flex Fight Series in Patchogue. And I'm super excited for that too. I'm going to be cornering him. I've been training him. He's been putting in the work, and I'm excited for it to pay off, because definitely he's going to go out there and do his thing.
Steve going to make his Cage Fury debut someday, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. He wants to, follow in my footsteps. He's more of a striker first. I had a wrestling base first and then learned the striking. Mm-hmm. He has a striking base first. Now he's going to learn the wrestling. So I told him, do some kickboxing because you're itching for competition. Get your jiu-jitsu up, get your wrestling up a little bit, and then we'll get you some MMA fights. And, he's at a very good spot right now, because he's going to fight at 125. But he is not a 125er. He's very tall.
Yeah.
He's very tall.
Get them light fights out early, eh?
What's that?
Get those lightweight fights out of the way early, and then bulk up to bantam.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I'll be looking forward to that. The Picciano name spreading its wings in Cage Fury, taking over. And another question I have, last question about your camp, is another member who you mentioned, Chris Wade, PFL. I am curious, how's Chris doing? Just because last week, obviously, his fight was canceled. I talked to him a little bit. He seemed a little bit up in the air about his future with weight classes. So, how's Chris doing? Have you talked to him at all? Where are his spirits at?
I haven't really seen him since he left for the fight, so I don't really have any comments on that.
Say less, say less. I was just wondering, because I'm a big fan of Chris, and it was a good time talking to him. So hopefully we get to hear more from him soon. But more about you, Pooch. You're taking on Michael Billups at CFFC 128. What are your thoughts on Michael? What have you seen from him so far?
I think he's pretty mid, to be honest. Like, he's not trash, obviously, because he's a pro fighter, and he's got however many fights. He's 5'2", so that's 9 fights. He's got some experience, but he's fighting out in Oklahoma. All of his fights are under the same promotion. If you watch his fights, they don't shut up about him. So it's pretty clear that he is their guy,
Sure.
Like, they're trying to push him. So they're giving him these, less than reputable competitors, and he's having wars with them. He's not smoking them. I watched a few of his fights with my coaches, and it's not like he's a can, that's for sure. But there's definitely levels to this shit, and if this fight goes the distance, I will be thoroughly disappointed.
So you're predicting a knockout or finish of some sort on your end?
He's going to sleep, whether it's me striking at him or I squeeze the life out of his neck. But either way, he will be woken up by somebody affiliated with the New Jersey State Athletic Commission or the CFFC staff.
That's a cold line right there, my friend. Very cold, getting me excited for this fight. And I know you're expecting a big finish, but when we're talking about styles, how do you think you guys clash? Because he is a big kickboxer, and I know you have a wrestling base transition into the Muay Thai kickboxing. So how do you think you guys clash?
I mean, I think it's going to be pretty good, opening up like in the first, minute or so. He's going to be bouncing around, moving a lot. I watched his fights. He likes to just kind of skate, and then just like pop, but it kind of looks like he's just has an earpiece in, and then somebody's like 1-2 kick, and he's just like and then he's just like, no, like 1-2 jab, low kick, and he's like da, 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 and he just like spits out combinations. Like, I haven't really seen any strategy in him, like really. He's tough, you know what I mean? He's definitely going to come to bang. He's going to show up. He's going to try to fight me. I like that. I welcome that. Please come and punch me in the mouth. I deserve it. But with that being said, good luck, and I'm going to whoop your ass because you ain't like me. You're going to have to kill me to stop me. And all that little nonsense throwing your little spin around. Whoa, I could spin too, bro. Like, that ain't going to do nothing to me, bro. I'm going to walk through that like I have a suit of armor on. And then if the off chance it gets a little hairy, I know I have the ground game advantage tenfold. He constantly gives up his back. He gets taken down. His first move is to give up his back. So I'm just like, bro, what are you doing? And he just stands up with his neck like this, and he's trying to just get up. I'm like, dude, I'm going to choke you. If you do that, I'm latching onto your neck like a pit bull, and I'm not letting go. And I'm going to just squeeze the life out of you until you're motionless.
Well, and you've experienced this before. Him having an earpiece, so to speak, might not be very helpful in AC because that Hard Rock gets very loud. And I have seen you fight there before. I've seen that crowd give you that giant bump before. So, like, what does that Atlantic City crowd energy do for you inside the cage?
Honestly, I really like fighting in AC. It's such a vibe. Like, the cage, I like the cage that they put for the 2300 arena, like the circle one.
Yeah.
I like that one over the one that they usually put in AC. I'm pretty sure the last time I was in AC, they had the circle cage. I think. I don't know.
I believe that's what they do now. Yeah.
Yeah, but the circle cage is cool. But no, I love fighting in AC, man. Like that's my favorite. Like backstage, because we get like our own spot because there's so many rooms, So it's like back there, there's like a little hallway, you like go down and you're sitting there like behind the curtains and like the fog and everything. And then you could hear everything. You're only behind the curtain and the crowd's just going crazy. And it's just, I don't know, for me, it makes me feel like I'm like in like Rome in like the Colosseum, about to go fight a lion in front of everybody. You know what I mean? And I just like have adrenaline pump going crazy. And then the music kicks on. I go out there, everybody's screaming. And then like after that, it kind of gets like silent. You know what I mean? Like, cause you've seen it, it gets like deathly silent. And then you hear everything, like every footstep on the cage, every footstep. Like you could hear your coach clear, and then all of a sudden the place just explodes, and it's and it echoes so much because the ceilings are mad high in there.
Yeah, dude, it's a good venue. I'm super excited for the 15th, and yeah, them going there like once or twice a year makes it that much more special too. And right now, you're riding a big 2-fight streak, looking to make it 3. I mean, dude, like what's next? Like ideally for you, because you're riding a lot of hype, and obviously Cage Fury likes you a lot. So what do you think's after this big one?
Strap season, baby. Give me that belt. My pants are falling down. I'm cutting weight. I need something to hold them up. Give me a piece of hardware, please. I don't care who it is.
Well, it's a vacant belt right now, too, at bantamweight, with Wilson missing weight last time and that fight getting canceled. So, like, what are your thoughts on the title picture? Who, like, anyone you want specifically? Who do you think should meet you there?
Somebody may wait and show up, please. You know what I mean?
Man,
just pull up 135, or if they're doing 136 for the title fights, I don't know. I thought it was straight weight, but I saw a title fight there where they did the +1. So if it's +1, bro, whatever, take it. Just pull up 135, 136, and fight me for the strap. That's it.
Hey, man, I was going to say.
Because at that point, like, you get the CFFC belt and you have a good record and people like you, the phone's going to ring. So that's it right there. That's why I'm here. I've been waiting for that phone call for years. I've been imagining it every single day. And like recently, like towards the end of this year, coming up to this fight, like just talking to my manager, talking to my coaches, talking to everybody, it's like, it's really, it feels more real than it ever has, man. I can almost taste it. Like I can fit, like I'll be driving to the gym or driving to work or something, just listening to music, and I'm just driving, just thinking about signing the contract, just thinking about when he hands it to me, thinking about when the phone rings, like thinking about what I'm gonna say, like all of it just runs through my head all day because it's all I think about. That's all I want, and I'm gonna get it because you're not gonna stop me. You're gonna have to kill me, render me lifeless to keep me out of the UFC. I don't care. I'm going to get it.
So 2024, safe to say your goals: Cage Fury title, UFC.
Absolutely.
Do you have like a preferred route for UFC, whether that's like tough or a contender series, short notice fight? What are your thoughts there?
I don't care.
You just want to get there.
I just want to get there, man. I know I'm on that caliber. I know that I'm there. Like, and by the time my opportunity comes to prove that, I will most definitely be ready. Most definitely. Like, it's not a doubt in my mind. It's not a doubt in my coach's mind. It's not a doubt in anybody that supports me, my family, my friends, anybody. Like, they all know that I'm going to be in the UFC. And it's a pretty crazy feeling. Like, the other day I was thinking about, like, you know, when I was, like, younger, like, high school, like, middle school, and I was like, oh, like, I wonder what life's going to be like when I'm, like, 25, like, and all this and that. And then I was scrolling through Instagram, like, and I saw one of my own reels pop up, and I was just looking at it, and I was like, yo, that's dead-ass me. Like, I'm really a pro MMA fighter, like, like around the block from the UFC. Like, not knocking on the door yet, but I'm almost there.
Yeah, man. And, like, I'm only asking this because of, you know, your teammate with Chris Wade, and there's just big news with that Bellator PFL merger. So would that interest you at all? Or you're like pretty just, you really want that UFC?
I mean, PFL don't do 135.
Yeah, no, they don't have a tournament.
Ludicrous to me. Like, it's the most exciting division right now in the UFC, in my opinion. I think, like, that weight is stacked. You got, like, some noise at 85 right now. 205's popping a little bit. Like, 70, like 55, 45 is Volks. Like, nobody's beating that guy at 45. You know?
Yeah,
so 135 is like, that's the weight. You know, most
popping division.
Literally. So, like, the fact that they don't have a bantamweight division there, just, I'm like, why? I'm pretty sure they just did one the other day, though. They did like a feature bout. There was
they'll do like the one-off fights, and they said that's like in more of their plans. But they also said they don't have any plan to include bantamweight in the tournament. So that's a good point, man. I don't know. Interesting.
But like, why? What are you guys doing?
It's a big missed opportunity.
As the sport evolves and there's more science coming behind weight cutting, like, that's becoming more of like the average person's weight class, I feel like. Because if you think about it, like, if you think about it, like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it was like 145 to like, it was probably like 55, 70.
Easy.
Right?
Yeah.
And then like 5 years ago, it was probably like 55, 45. They were like super stacked. And now it's like all the guys that are a little small for 45 because the guys that are supposed to be at 55 figured out how to cut weight the right way. So now they're making 45. Right. So now, like, I fought a guy at 145 who was 6'2". What is that?
Yeah, that's nonsense.
What is that, bro? Like,
crazy.
I mean, granted, he was a strict chicken, but like, bro, 6'2", 145, like that's crazy. I'm 5'8". What is that?
Yeah, that's nuts. And Chris Wade, that's why I brought up Wade earlier, because he brought up all this at the PFL presser, how big of an issue it is weight cutting in the sport. And I totally agree, man. So I think it's a big missed opportunity that PFL doesn't have a 135, especially bringing over Patchy Mix. Like, what are we doing, man?
Yeah, but, I don't know.
Hey, man, I just interview fighters. I don't even work here.
Yeah, I just fight. I don't make decisions.
Well, Pooch, man, I'm going to let you get out of here and go train. But before we do, or before you do, let me just give you the opportunity, all the fans you have, the people watching this interview, everybody tuning into Cage Fury, anything you'd like to say to everybody?
I would just like to say to my family, friends, and my teammates, all this is possible because you guys with the support. I love you all, and we're going to get it 12-15, baby. This fight will not. The judges can go to the bathroom, go get a snack, go get a drink, go party, go do something. You ain't even got to sit there, bro, because I'm not going to need you. I am not going to need you, I promise. Well, I can't sell a fight better than that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will leave it at that. Pooch, December 15th at the Hard Rock. Thank you so much, my man. Kick some ass. Yes, sir.